miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold.
Welcome to All Gold Everything, a podcast for people who do stupid shit and then wonder why they're in pain. Today we're going to talk about red flags in dating. We're not going to get to that for about a half hour, though. That's not what we're starting off with. How are you, Sandy?
I'm well. I've been there. I've done stupid shit and then wondered why I'm in pain.
Me too.
And it really annoyed a lot of my friends at the time.
This is a topic that resonates deeply with both of us.
Yes.
We are back from being on hiatus, and we have received a glow up. In the literal and figurative sense.
Look at our faces.
So first of all, today, Sandy and I, before the show, we went to Thrive Aesthetic Medicine in Portland, and we received the Hollywood facial. Dun, dun, dun. You need to, if you're not watching us on YouTube, you're going to need to pull it up on YouTube so you can just see how dewy and glowful our faces are. We are not wearing makeup. We came straight from the laser treatment. It was incredible.
We look amazing.
Sandy and I both sat down and we're like, whoa, we look dewy and good.
We look amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm not putting makeup on this face.
Ever again.
Never.
Maybe not ever again.
Well, not today.
Tristan over at Thrive gave us the treatment called the Hollywood facial. Basically, they paint on a charcoal mask on your face and then they laser it off.
There will be photos.
There will be. And Sandy took some video of the charcoal being lasered off my face.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I felt like I was being, I felt like what I can only imagine a marshmallow over an open fire feels like.
I mean, I feel like that's dramatic. It was a little warm.
It was warm. Okay, so they warm your face up first. They put the charcoal on. First, they paint the charcoal oil on. Then they warm your face up to like make your pores as receptive as possible to the laser treatment. And then they laser off the charcoal mask. So it like goes pew, 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 which is like everywhere. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah. The lasering itself didn't feel too bad except for on my nostrils. But the heating of the pores did make me feel like I was a roasting marshmallow.
Yeah. Less sensitive over here. The warming actually felt really good to me.
Yeah.
I have little peach fuzz hairs and I could kind of like smell them a little singed.
Yeah.
But it was totally comfortable. And then the pew pew pew,
Yeah.
I said it felt like needles, but then I realized that was wrong because it doesn't feel like needles that pierce your skin. It's almost if a blunt needle were just kind of poking your skin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely painless. And I
that's
had
true.
the same experience around my nostrils, but it was just really ticklish and I was afraid I was going to sneeze. That's what it was.
I will also say the combination of the sound, it is like a full sensory experience because you're feeling the heat on your face, the sound of the pop of the laser, and then there is a smell of like
singed hair
that I was a little like, it was a little overwhelming.
It might have been burning flesh.
One thing I know is I'm never getting a tattoo on my face. Like I could barely handle a laser on my face.
I would never tattoo this face.
Not right.
This
Hell
baby
no.
face.
It looks. We went in and we were joking. Like, are we going to look like we're 16 when we come out? But I feel like I might look better than I did when I was 16. Sandy, I'm just looking at the single shot of you right now, and you are like an angel. You look like a 16-year-old angel. It's amazing.
I mean, we both are. We both are just on fire.
So unfortunately, we don't have like a promo code that you can use at Thrive, but maybe we should talk to them about that. But if you're in the market for some kind of facial treatment or aesthetic medicine, I would say head over to Thrive if you're in Portland.
Yeah, if you want that no makeup, no filter look, this is how to achieve it, I would say.
For sure. One of the things that was cool about that is in the waiting room, they had, they obviously also do injectables, which neither Sandy or I had done, but they have like all the different types of injectables that they can put in your face, and they have them in like a palette, and I couldn't stop squishing them all.
Yeah, it was fun to touch them.
I feel like if I had injectables in my face, I would constantly be like, I would be squishing them all the time. Just a thought. So I don't think I'll be doing that.
But then if you squish them all the time, you'd reshape your face.
You would. That would be pretty scary. So
I don't think that's true, but it just seems like that would be true.
We are back with season 2 of the All Gold Everything podcast. We have had a glow up on our faces. We've also had a glow up on our graphics and our show design. So thank you, Mark. Huge shout out. We're moving into kind of an Art Deco theme, and I'm here for that. This looks good. Look at your like at the real Sandy J tag. Looks amazing. It's awesome. We have a best of compilation for season 1, which if you have not listened to, you definitely want to check that out. It's got all of our highlights talking about Chad trying to sell his nasty house. That's the lead off clip. That's a good one.
Oh, Chad. I wonder if that house is sold.
I don't know. We should check in on that.
Yeah, we need to look in. We need to follow the market.
We'll do that. We were on KATU yesterday. We got to go to the KATU studios and film a segment with Trey Renee. Was awesome to see her. And we did a segment on why rejection is rad. We have a whole podcast about that, so you can go back in the archives and listen to that. But we also will have that clip on our media gallery on our website as well, so you can check us out on TV. Being on KATU is what inspired us to have some aesthetic medicine done to our faces.
Definitely. I was like, oh, people are seeing this version of me. It needs a little improvement.
It could use a little. I mean, no, we're great. We're great. It was nice to give it a little touch up is all.
It's like Tristan said, you need to feel good.
You need to feel good. It's true. The last thing I want to mention is that my brother Fred created a few.
I feel good.
You look like you feel good.
Sorry.
It's the God's honest truth right there. My brother Fred created us some new music, so we're going to be debuting that on some of our clips and at the end of the show. Not today's show, but at the end of our show. And so you'll be able to check out his music. He's Fred Bushy. He has an album out called Kicks, Claps, and Coffee Cups, which you can get if you're like really into the kind of streamlined aesthetic that he does. Is there anything else that we want to talk about as far as the Hollywood facial is concerned?
No, I think we covered it.
We covered it.
We told you... Listeners, we told you everything you need to know. Is a highly recommended if you have some money to burn.
I'm a super fan.
I'm a fan.
I'm a super fan.
I guess the one downside is I can't afford to do it on the regular.
No, me neither.
It is a splurge. It is a treat yourself. And I would say it's really good if you've just experienced some form of rejection and you need to make yourself feel good. This is a great way to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1000%. 1000%.
Get that swag back.
It's been a couple of weeks since we podcasted, but the last time we podcasted, I was telling you that I had gotten in touch with our friends at Ship-A-Dick.
Yes.
Okay. Ship-A-Dick does a thing where at the end of every year, they have a bunch of mystery dicks. These are dicks that have been returned for some reason, never made it to their final destination.
That's kind of gross.
It's kind of sad.
It's like secondhand dick.
Secondhand dick.
We don't. The ladies of All Gold Pod and the All Gold Pod Squad, we don't do secondhand dick.
We do not, but we do because I had them ship us one. Fondle with care.
Unless it's that big.
Unless it's this big. And here, this is really cute. It says, you've received a mystery dick from shipadick.com. This means that someone you know was too cheap to buy you a real dick, and you're holding someone else's dick in your hands. Our cheapest phalli, the mystery dicks, are unclaimed dicks that have been rejected by the postal system. Some have already been to France and back. Which is that's totally aligned with our thing, ship a dick in France. So anyway, I received this dick from them. I have not opened it. I'm unveiling it on the All Gold Pod Season 2 debut episode. So I want to see what kind of mystery dick they sent us. Maybe I won't be opening it. I thought this was going to go a little bit smoother when I was preparing it in my brain. Here we go. Mark
has a pocket knife. Oh, she got it. She got it.
Okay, wow. This says... Oh, it says... It says, happy birthday, Lauren.
Happy birthday, Lauren.
Is that a winky smiley face?
It's a winky smiley face.
Happy birthday, Lauren, with a winky smiley face.
Poor Lauren. You didn't get your dick.
Lauren missed out on getting her dick. I don't really want to podcast the whole show like this, but...
No, you're way too pretty to do that.
I look way too good today to be doing that, so that is not something that will be happening. The other thing is that I did order a little something for Sandy and myself. There's a little gift in there for us. For her birthday. Sandy's birthday was last week.
Happy birthday to me.
Aging in reverse. Absolutely.
For real.
They have a new product.
Oh, yeah. Joey.
They have a dick keychain out these days. So now Sandy can carry a keychain around.
Does this mean Joey, you're a dick?
No, he's your husband.
Quit being a dick. Just kidding.
Your husband's dick on a keychain. There should be one in there for Jeff as well.
Oh, that's so emasculating.
Kind of. I know. Yeah, you're right.
There we go.
And I have one for Jeff. I have Jeff's dick on a keychain too now. So there's that. Yeah. Are they dick fighting? Sword fight. What do they call that? I don't know.
There's a word for that. It's a thing.
It is a thing. So anyway, now we have some new accoutrement to put on our keychains. We're always doing promo for the people over at Ship-A-Dick. If you are inspired by this segment on dicks and their various shapes and sizes, you can go to Ship-A-Dick and you can put in the promo code AllGoldPod and you will receive a 15% discount on your order over there. So
I think I will put this on my water bottle.
Absolutely need a Ship-A-Dick sticker. The thing I like about Ship-A-Dick is every time they send you something, they also send you 6 stickers and a thing of matches, and they throw a bunch of bonus stuff in your shipment. So that's always really, really dope. So, okay, we have some pop culture stuff to cover.
Let's do it.
Are you ready, or are you still enamored with all of the freebies?
It's like when I was a child, I watched The Price is Right, and I feel like I'm reliving
your days of what did they call the girls?
I don't know.
I can't remember what they called them.
Models.
But I will say that if I could just get free facials from Thrive Aesthetic Medicine and stuff from Ship-A-Dick for the rest of my life at a reduced or free rate, I might be like completely set.
I think that if I could just somehow get on a regular Hollywood facial program that I could afford, my life would change dramatically.
Incredible. One of the things that's going on, I don't know whether or not she's on a regular Hollywood facial plan or not, but Miley Cyrus is back in the news. This girl.
I know about this.
You do?
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. This came across my desk. Came on my radar. My desk.
You have a desk.
I do have a desk.
It could have come across your desk.
It got on my radar, and I feel like a couple of months ago we talked about Miley because she had that fucking bop of a summer jam, Nothing Breaks Like a Heart.
Yes.
Nothing breaks like a heart.
Was that last summer?
No, it was like springtime, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So it was only a couple months ago.
Okay.
And I'm here for that song. It's cute. I dig it or whatever. But Miley Cyrus was in the news because she and her husband, Liam Hemsworth, split.
Yes.
They had been married for 7 months after reconciling. They had been together, broken up, got back together, got married.
Yes.
Red flag. I just feel like once you break up with someone, you should just stay broken up. Like, don't break up with someone and get back together with them and then marry them.
No.
That's a very bad idea.
No.
It doesn't work. Take Miley's experience as the God's honest truth. Just don't do that. So she got back together with Liam Hemsworth. She got married to him, and then they broke up a couple of weeks ago, because probably right after our last podcast. And she was seen out and about with a woman named Kaitlyn Carter.
Yes.
Do you know anything about Kaitlyn Carter?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, I have a picture of them I sent to Mark. He may or may not have it ready to pull up. Let's see. Oh, here's the letter. There's a tweet. There's a series of tweets that Miley put out, which I also sent. So basically, here she is. Here is Miley and Kaitlyn. They just look like practically twins. They're adorable
cute.
together. Very cute. I don't know anything about Kaitlyn Carter. I had to Google her.
Miley looks like a Bratz doll. She's got that big Disney head and that tiny body.
And I do feel like her eyes are kind of like Bratz dolls have oval eyes that are like at an angle. And I feel like Miley has that going for her right now.
So here's what I know about this cute little Kaitlyn.
Yeah, tell me about these two.
So... Well, I don't know probably as much about Miley as you do, but no, I do. I actually do, because I was raising a child in the Hannah Montana era.
Yeah, so you know a lot about Miley. Plus, we also watched the Miley episode of Black. There's a lot of Miley Miley's basically a part of All Gold Pod because we also watched and reviewed the Ashley O episode of Black Mirror.
And I was at a ripe young age when Billy Ray Cyrus wrote the Achy Breaky Heart song.
And he came back around because he's on that Lil Nas X album.
We go way back.
I know. We're basically Cyruses.
So what am I going to say I don't know about Miley?
Yeah,
I know about you, girl. Mm-hmm. But what I know about Kaitlyn, and this is because I've been sucked into the Kardashian-Jenner drama, is that she was Kaitlyn before Kaitlyn was Kaitlyn.
Yeah,
so she was dating Brody Jenner, and she was Brody Jenner's girlfriend for a really long time before Bruce became Kaitlyn, and then Bruce chose the name Kaitlyn, and she was Kaitlyn.
Yeah. Do you think she felt weird about that?
I feel like it's kind of weird.
I think it's kind of weird too. Of all the names in the world, and they choose their son's girlfriend's name.
Yeah, like
Seems
I remember
strange.
before I got pregnant, I was like, if I ever had a boy, I would name, or no, when I was pregnant, I was like, if I had a boy, if it's a boy, I'm going to name it Marcus Isaiah. And if it's a girl, I don't know what I'm going to name it because I think I wanted a boy. So I had Kyla and she was a girl. And then my sister had a baby and named it Marcus. And then my good friend had a baby and named it Isaiah. And I
they
was
stole
like,
your baby name.
Bitch, that's my name.
People get really protective of their baby names. So
so it's kind of like that, but it's worse.
Yeah, it's worse than that because she's not a baby. She's a grown-ass woman.
And Marcus is grown up to be Marcus and Isaiah's grown up to be Isaiah. And that's who they're supposed to be. But Kaitlyn could have chose a different name.
Kaitlyn could have chosen any name, and she chose her son's girlfriend's name. I think it's weird. I hadn't even put 2 and 2 together on that. Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I know about this little nugget, and I also know that they just recently got married, so this was like a big surprise, right?
Yeah. They Liam and Miley were only married for 7 months.
Well, and Kaitlyn and Brody were only married for a few months.
Oh, I didn't realize that they were married.
Yes.
Okay, that makes this even more juicy.
Yes.
So they also got divorced, or now going to get divorced, so that these two can bop off into the sunset together.
I think so.
I hope so.
I don't know.
They're adorable. I think they make a great couple. I don't know anything about them other than that they're adorable.
They
but
are
I'm
adorable.
here for it. I also sent Mark some of the pictures of the tweets that Miley Cyrus put out about this, which basically just says like, I can accept that I've chosen a life that means I have to be 100% public. These were published in People. I didn't like find these or dig these up. I don't follow.
What crime is she being accused of?
I cannot. I guess people are saying that she was infidelity, which is not really a crime. I don't know. Maybe she needs to go back to school on that one, or that she was cheating. And she comes out in these tweets and talks about the costs of her lifestyle choices when she kind of like went rogue from being a Disney sweetheart into like investigating, you know, a more grown-up persona and like smoking a lot of weed and doing whatever she wanted to do. And then the next tweet says basically just that like the truth is she was committed to Liam. She was in love with him and that she's not anymore. And so she's getting out. And Madonna got on board and basically said, good for you. And I do like the end of it. She says, you can say I'm a twerking, pot-smoking, foul-mouthed hillbilly, but I'm not a liar. So, I mean, it is what it is. So go Miley, I guess.
Yeah.
All I care about is like, girl, can you do another episode of Black Mirror? Because I was so here for that Ashley O episode. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was definitely a departure for Black Mirror.
I agree.
But it was enjoyable for those of us who are a little bit creeped out by Black Mirror.
Yeah,
it's like
it's like Black Mirror light.
That's a happy spot that I can get down with.
Hell yeah. Another celebrity that's in the news that's in a little bit of trouble. Bad girl Riri's in some trouble. Now
I know nothing about.
I had not seen this. This was really cool. I guess it was cool. This is a story that was reported by Vox, and we have talked a couple of times about Rihanna's various business ventures. Now we also know that she's like the richest.
Rich.
Yeah, she is rich.
She's real rich.
She could get a Hollywood facial twice a day if she wanted.
Right. And like I have to say, did you notice Lady Gaga came out with a makeup line?
I did not.
She's about to get real rich.
Real rich.
Real
I mean,
rich.
wait for the all gold pod makeup line.
I know.
We got to get real rich with a palette.
Yes.
All you need is, how do you spell rich? P-A-L-L-E-T-T-E.
Is that how you spell palette?
Maybe. Might be. And it's actually just easier to spell rich. Anyway, okay, so we know. Oh, Sandy's water just came out of her mouth. That is... All right, if you're watching this, if you're listening, you need to go to the video and watch it. It's at the 17-minute mark that you'll want to start so you can see Sandy lose it. That was good. I've never caused that much hilarity in your life before.
I think that, yeah. I think it is easier to spell rich. It was just very profound.
It's definitely easier to spell rich.
Because I don't know, palette has two L's.
Palette. It might only have one.
Or two T's.
It definitely has two T's.
Does it have two L's and two T's?
In my world, it does.
Probably one L and two T's.
Probably one L. P-A-L-E-T-T-E.
But I don't know.
Oh, gosh. Mark, can you Google how to spell palette for us? Are you working too hard over there? Okay, so Rihanna is one rich motherfucker, and she has a clothing line and a makeup line. So the clothing line is Savage, the makeup line is Fenty. Correct. Yeah. Okay, and so
Yes. It took me a minute.
So people so the clothing line, I think this is probably in the same vein of like Kate Hudson's Fabletics or whatever. The clothing line has an option called the Savage by Fenty Extra VIP membership.
It's like a subscription service.
It's a subscription service.
She's going to get richer. Subscription services are the way to go, kids.
They are. I got to find something I can sell that people can subscribe to.
Yes. If you're trying to get your hustle on, make it a subscription and you will be rich.
1,000%. And you'll be extra rich if you do what Rihanna did, which is they've been automatically, her team or this line has been automatically adding the membership subscription to people's carts at checkout without people selecting to be the member. And then like all these people have been paying Rihanna $50 a month for like God knows how long.
Well, that's what Rodan and Fields do, except they're upfront about it. They let you know.
Yeah, they don't. They're pretty sneaky about it. So we got a picture of the Rihanna line, the Savage line, and one of the things about the Savage by Fenty Extra VIP line is that it allows you to purchase exclusive and discounted underwear, including special stuff supposedly handpicked by Bad Girl Riri herself.
I'm sure.
Yes. And so, but it turns out that a lot of the stuff on the website you cannot buy unless you have this membership, and they automatically add it to your cart. So my question is, have you ever been swindled like this in a way where you like found out you were subscribed to something that you had no idea?
I've been swindled twice by the same company.
No!
They are shady AF. Now,
Who is it?
It's House Beautiful magazine subscription.
Ooh.
They ask you to like enter like a sweepstakes for some fantastic trip in it via an email blast. And I've done it twice now where I've subscribed and I've ended up with a $10 a month bill.
Dang.
The only difference is they're not auto charging me because I never provide my information. But to sign up for the sweepstakes, you have to provide your home address. So I'm getting a paper invoice along with a magazine from them. And it happened once, and the first time I just didn't pay it. And then finally Joey called them and they canceled my subscription.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul after several months of like getting final notice, pay your subscription bill. But then I did it again.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
Yes. And so now I'm in the same boat where I need Joey
to call them and lay this, Joey,
don't be a dick. Call House Beautiful for me.
I feel like you could put the dick in front of a big circle light and you could almost have your own bat signal for Joey, which would be really cute.
He would like that.
One of the things I thought was funny about this article is the headline of it is, "We may never know how many people accidentally signed up to pay Rihanna $50 a month." This is an article written by a woman named it looks like Kaitlyn Tiffany is her name. And she talks about in the article that she was writing it and discovered that her own boss had also made this mistake. So not only had she made the mistake, she's been paying Rihanna $50 a month for 3 months, but her boss made the same mistake and has been paying Rihanna $50 a month for 6 months.
Oh, that's brilliant.
This is almost kind of because I feel like $50 a month to Rihanna is like 10 cents, right? Because she's so rich. It's not like
right, but with all the people, it's a huge moneymaker.
I know, it's reminding me of like those movies. Okay, remember like in early tech days where there were like a bunch of movies about people who were going to
like
siphon off a penny from every account and then they're like a billionaire. I mean, I kind of feel like that's what's happening here. And actually, can someone please make a movie about Bad Girl Riri and Savage by Fenty's membership fee skimming money from people? But you know what? But regular people notice $50 a month, but Rihanna might not.
But you know what? Like if it were just $50 that was coming out of Rihanna's, she wouldn't notice. Of course, yeah. But what is going to hit her bottom line is a class action lawsuit. Like rich people don't like that shit.
No.
And that gets real expensive real fast.
Really fast. So who knows what will happen with with Rihanna's clothing line? Not me, but I'm glad that I did not get sucked into this trap. I'm trying to think. The last time I have all kinds of memberships that I'm signed up for that I don't use. The most recent one is that I bought an unlimited yoga membership that I only went to twice.
You should come back. Well, you went more than twice.
I went for 1 month, but it was a 12-month membership. I used a 12th of it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get it back and I couldn't transfer it. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to be able to. So I have more stuff like that where it's like memberships or something like that I've signed up for. I don't think it's been a minute since I signed up for something unknowingly. Probably like Columbia House back in the day.
Oh, I remember that. You know? I did that knowingly. I knew damn well I was going to keep the 12 CDs and not pay one bill. I knew damn well.
Me too. And it's where I got my first CDs. It's how I ended up with my very first CDs. And amongst my 12 were the Madonna Immaculate Collection, Pearl Jam Versus. Oh no, Pearl Jam
10.
No, it was not 10. It was Versus. I was
okay.
just about to. I was wondering because the 10 is the one that's red and black.
Yeah,
and it wasn't that one. It was the Versus album. And Boys to Men, Motown Philly were 3 of my 12. I can't remember the rest of them. I think I got my brother the Green Day Dookie album that time as well.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So that was generous of you.
That was nice of me.
Yeah, very nice.
To start to permanently destroy my credit for the 12 CDs for 1 cent.
Yeah.
There's that I never paid for.
Yeah, I never paid, and it never affected my credit. Kids.
Good.
It used to be a much easier time, much simpler time
to get stuff.
You could get 12 CDs for 1 penny and never even pay that 1 penny.
No, it's true. And you got away with it. Another thing that's in the news right now is this is not something I was aware of, but apparently Popeyes has released a fried chicken sandwich.
I have been aware of this.
Okay, so first of all, I think we can all agree that Popeyes fried chicken is absolutely the best fried chicken.
I do not agree.
Oh my God. I mean, you don't eat fried chicken anymore.
No. Are you talking about like fast food fried chicken?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like I would eat Popeyes fried chicken 1,000 times more than I would eat like KFC or I don't know. What else does fried chicken? Wendy's maybe?
Chick-fil-A, and that's the big Chick-fil-A. That's the big controversy. Like this whole Popeyes craze started out with a Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A, who has the best spicy chicken sandwich.
But who can even eat at Chick-fil-A anymore with all the horrible politics? I mean, this should be a no-brainer. Okay.
Even if you're gay, go out to Chick-fil-A. Isn't that like their song?
I didn't know that. That's funny. I thought you just made that up on the spot.
No, that's a song. I'm singing it wrong, but If I would have been prepared for this, I would have known the lyrics.
100 out of 100 would listen again every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Okay, so I did not even think about the fact that this would be a competition between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, because I just feel like I can't imagine anyone that eats at Chick-fil-A and that anyone eats, but they must, because they still are all over the place. But I just feel like Popeyes is by far and away the best fast food fried chicken.
Okay.
Beyonce and I agree.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, they made a fried chicken sandwich.
Yes.
Which is like a new menu item. And it's got like fried chicken, pickles, and mustard or something, right?
So this sounds disgusting.
I know it doesn't sound great, but apparently people are lining up all over the world for it, to the extent that the Popeyes are completely overwhelmed. They're selling out. They're overwhelmed. People are complaining to management. I found this quote about it, about a 38-year-old woman who's a Popeyes manager, said she doesn't get paid enough to deal with all the customers who lined up for sandwiches this past week. She earns $10 an hour managing a Popeyes in Milwaukee. Her legs are still numb from standing for 10 to 12 hours a day. She had to spend her birthday making chicken sandwiches instead of taking the day off. One of her employees quit, and an angry customer even threatened to shoot her staff over not getting his chicken sandwich. I'm assuming it's a him.
The power of social media. This is the power of social media. This is crazy. A shitty fast food crap sandwich.
I mean, look at it. It's all beige. There's nothing.
This is the power of social media. And then it sounds like these poor like minimum wage workers are suffering for it. And that's a bummer, because, and the other thing is the people who are making money off of this are not this 38-year-old woman.
She doesn't make anything about the fact that they sold out of
It's a fast food corporation who's making all the money. It's not a local business. It's not a black-owned business. Mm-mm. It's not anything. It's not a woman-owned business. It's a big fucking corporation, probably run by white men.
Yeah.
And so this is like so beautifully illustrates the power of social media and how we are all sheep. Listeners, please don't be a sheep. When you see all beige, recognize that as a crappy fast food sandwich.
Unless you're eating just the chicken fingers.
Trust your gut on this one. Just trust your gut on this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would not stand in line for hours for that, I don't think. I mean, I don't know.
I know that would make me sick.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, that's what's happening. That's kind of the roundup of pop culture. We're going to move into our main segment, which is about red flags when you're dating.
Red flags when you're dating.
Yeah, Sandy. Nice.
Acknowledge them. That's why they're red.
One of the biggest dangers that all of us can make when we're dating is
they're red for a reason.
Is trying to paint our red flags green.
They're not beige.
They're red for a reason. That's a classic.
Yes.
Sandy and I were talking yesterday as we were headed into KATU, and we were talking about kind of reviewing the stuff that we had for our segment on rejection. And we were talking about two things that we actually mentioned on our rejection segment or our rejection podcast that didn't quite make the cut for the actual TV appearance on rejection. One of those things was something Sandy said, which is that, and I think this is a red flag, when you're starting to talk to somebody and you're texting with them or whatever, you're starting to date them and you're confused by them. This is a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's a message. What I said was gather around now, listen up. If you don't listen to anything, listen to this. Get close to your radio speakers.
Turn up the volume.
The person likes you, you will know it. If the person doesn't, you will be confused.
That's true.
Or something to that effect. If they like you, you know it. If you're confused,
they don't. Yeah. So don't try to turn this red flag green of confusion and be like, because that I think is the
camo.
thing.
Don't turn it camo.
Right. Is that when we're confused, we just start to search for like, well, how can we make this right? Like, how can we get out of confusion and into like the person liking us? And really, we should just be walking away.
I have to sit him down. I have to have a conversation. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to have the talk tonight.
We just have to talk. We just have to talk. I just need, I need him to understand this is how I feel. But no, you need nothing but to walk your ass out the door from this dumb relationship, because don't try to turn this red flag of confusion green by like jamming.
No, Heidi, but it's just me. Sometimes I can be really confusing too, and I don't think I'm giving him the right signals.
Yeah, and like I think it just came across weird over text. Like, no, you're confused. He doesn't like you. On to the next. So I feel like confusion.
No, but this is really an opportunity for me to work on myself and work on my communication, and just maybe I don't need to have everything I want at once. Maybe if I just wait around.
Yes, your communication is fine and you can have everything that you want, right?
Yes.
That's how we roll here. So you're fine and you can walk away. So I feel like being highly confused.
No, but he said that he liked my hair. I think he really likes me.
He really likes my hair. When you are confused a lot of the time while you're dating someone, this is a red flag. Yes. Walk away.
Walk away.
Okay. Another one that we talked about yesterday that I like that we did not mention on previous podcast is when a guy you're dating is still friends with their ex.
Yes.
Best friends. You know,
well, she's such a nice person.
She's so nice. And just like, we should just be friends. We like always got along. Anyway, listen, if the guy you're dating is still best friends with his ex, he is in love with her. Yeah. You should not be dating him. He will not be falling in love with you. He'll be continuing to fuck you while he's in love with his ex.
Yes.
Right. So I would say walk away from that red flag.
And you'll stay confused and wonder why the fuck you're confused.
Exactly.
Because he's still in love with her.
He's still in love with her. So anyway.
No, but Heidi, I just need to be really mature about this. You know, I'm just a jealous person and I really need to work on that.
That is funny. This cultural construction around being friends with your ex and like the parlaying of it into a sign of maturity is just such bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it is like 1,000 times more mature to break up with someone with grace and dignity and to like walk away from them. Because if you're still trying to be friends with them, it does not make you available for another person.
Correct.
1,000%.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's like, it sounds really harsh and really black and white, but like sometimes you just, it's really setting boundaries that are protecting yourself, because that confusion is painful.
Yes.
And all those questions are painful, and not being able to be in a position with somebody where you can really honestly ask, like, what's really going on with you guys? And where you could really get an honest answer. Well, you know, I still have feelings for her, is really fucking painful.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yes.
And so when you make the decision to continue to date someone who either confuses you or who is like best friends. I mean, I say best friends, but I really mean like friends even. They don't have to be best friends. If they're like chatting on the phone, hanging out, like they're friendly enough.
They're keeping the door open. The door is being kept open. And you want the door to be only open for you.
That's right.
Yes.
Because one of them is in love with the other.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, and bottom line is, the person's unavailable.
And that makes them unavailable to be in love with you.
Yeah.
Which the point of dating is to fall in love.
Yeah. Well, I thought of one red flag that actually kind of came up a lot. If they don't return your texts in a timely manner, that's a red flag.
1,000% agreed.
But he might be at work, and if he's at work, he can't return my text.
No, anyone I was ever hot for, I found a fucking way to return the text.
I'd go in the damn stairwell. I would walk out of rounds to return that text.
That's true. Or I would like go into a closet at work and return it. I would do anything I need to do to get back to someone I'm interested in.
And you want a person who will do that for you.
1,000%.
Who wants to do that for you and isn't afraid to do that for you.
So don't justify or like try to paint that red flag green by being like, oh, they're busy. Fucking everyone's got a cell phone. Some people have like 2 cell phones and an iPad and an Apple Watch. They're getting your messages. They know you want to talk to them and they're not responding to you. So bye. I mean, I just feel like could not be more adamant about that one.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That was a good one. It was quick. I mean, I
just came up with it.
I know. It's good. I don't know how long this segment's going to be because I feel like our intense emotions around red flags are like, we're just going to check them off. Though we're going to be like, do. The next one was one we talked about. Is if you're moving in together and there are a lot of conditions, including getting rid of your beloved pets.
Oh, I know.
This is a red flag.
This is a good one, too, because this one's deep because you're to the point of moving in.
Yeah, so you're like beyond dating. You're in a relationship with someone. And like, I know this happened actually. My brother and sister-in-law have a chocolate lab named Molly that they got when she was a baby. But they also ended up adopting a yellow lab named Charlie, who they had to kind of take in because a friend of theirs was getting married to a woman who said, I want to marry you, but I do not want your dog around. And Charlie was old. Charlie was like 7.
Oh, that is so sad.
Charlie wasn't a puppy. So he had to rehome his dog because he was in love with this woman.
Yeah.
You know? So it happens. I mean, if it's happening to you or it's happened to you, like you're not alone. It has happened to other people. But I do think this is a red flag.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that you say that because this actually happened to a good friend of mine too. And when it happened, I gave the advice of like, kind of advocate for yourself and your pets here. And oh, yeah. I forgot what I was going to say, but oh, that's right. I said if I ever write a book, this is going to be a chapter in my book.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say because it's such a great way to advocate for yourself, to advocate for this bond you have with animals, and to be respected and loved and appreciated for that, and to have somebody sacrifice, because I don't know, there's could be various reasons,
allergies or
and so
commitment.
it's like,
I don't know. Allergies is really the only thing I can think of. But even then, I feel like there's ways around it.
There's ways around everything. And even if it were like a rental agreement or whatever. But
I hadn't thought about that.
It reminds me that when Joey met me, he told me he was allergic to cats. And my response was, well, I guess you won't be ever coming to my house then. And guess what? He was not that allergic to cats after all.
That's right.
Yes.
I love that.
I think we're all a little allergic to cats.
Yeah, probably.
So, it's just like, what are you willing to do for something that's important to me?
Yeah. I just actually can't imagine.
And I want to be with somebody who is willing to sniffle.
A little bit. Yeah.
You need to be willing to sniffle for me.
How do you spell sniffle? P-A-L-A-T-T.
R-I-C-H. There's 2 F's and 1 L in sniffle.
S-N-I-F-F-L-L-E. No, I'm just kidding. All the L's, all the E's. 2 E's, 2 L's, 2 F's. I agree with that. And I just can't imagine. Okay, because that is kind of like a next level red flag, right? It's not like an early dating red flag.
Right.
It's like a moving in together kind of red flag. And I just feel like I cannot imagine saying to someone who I love enough to move in with them, who I love, right?
Yeah.
Like enough to move in with them, probably love, who has a bond with their pet, who they love. I just can't imagine being like, it's me or your cat.
No. No.
So I feel like that does also say something about a person's character.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah, and if there's a rental agreement prohibiting it, then you look for a place where you can have pets and live together.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the grown-up shit we do.
Yeah, because I don't even think it would be acceptable to be like, oh, can you just give your cat to your friend so you can go visit all this? It's like, no, you got to be willing. We're a package deal here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there is another one that is fresh on the top of my head. Have you got another one that you can think of?
Well, gosh, I feel like there's so many that come up, and it's usually, they're usually all around communication. If he cancels dates at the last minute,
that's
he or
a
she.
really good one.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you thought about that, because that's another thing. Everyone has a calendar. Everyone's iPhone has a calendar app in it. It's really easy to go ahead and if you're talking to them, the flip side of that too is if you're talking to them and they're reluctant to set a date.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, if there's a lot of, like, just want to talk, don't want to actually, we've talked about that before. Just want to chit-chat, just want to, like, trade pics, don't want to actually set a date for going out. Like, that's
especially if they want to have sexy conversations, sexting, or
I feel like
phone
that's someone who's
sex, but
cheating.
they don't want to meet up with you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah, that's a big red flag. And then canceling at the last minute or being unable to keep plans. I will say this. I'm tolerant of people's schedules and, like, the flexibility that may be required. So I could take, like, one reschedule.
Nope.
Sandy does not tolerate that. That's okay that we can have a difference of opinion. But I feel like if someone does it more than once, then they're just disrespecting because really it's about respecting your time. And respecting the commitment
If he wants to date you, he will move heaven and earth to show up for that date. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Just like that if you want to date someone, you will move heaven and earth to show up for that date.
For what I want to do.
And that's the person you want to date.
Yeah.
Because you want somebody who will move heaven and earth to show up for the date. So down the road, they will move heaven and earth to show up for you. That's what partnership is.
Yep.
Like, yeah. No, not one.
It's okay. I like that you're passionate about it. I'm willing to give somebody a one-time pass, but I don't have to do it anymore because I'm not dating. Yeah, so that's a red flag, and then also being unwilling to nail something down is a red flag. And I'm trying to think of another. I don't have like a lot of these off the top of my head, so I feel like I should have done a little bit more research on this before we. Made it our
we've got like 20 minutes to kill. Well, I guess like if I think it'd be boring to sit here and give examples because there's just like
there's so many
millions of different examples. Yeah. But what it comes down is to unavailable. Well, what it comes down is to confusion.
Yeah.
If it's putting you in a point point where you need to figure out what's going on. We've all been there. We've all been in that point where we're just trying to figure out what's going on, and our head is spinning, and we're in obsession about this person because we cannot figure out what's going on. And then it's like, I have to talk to him. I'm going to talk. And then we see him and it's like, oh, everything seems great.
Yeah.
And then you're back in that spot of confusion. And all that comes down to is, like, the easy way to say it is they're just not that into you. But the truth of the matter is they're unavailable, and you're dating somebody that's unavailable. So whatever the scenario is that puts you in a position to be confused, just go ahead and make that translation and consider if this person may actually just be unavailable, and consider if this is something you want to continue putting your valuable time into.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the truth of the pain of this is that, I continued to step foot into all these unavailable relationships, all these relationships with men who were unavailable. And every single time I was the one crying at the end of it. You know what I mean? I was the one in pain. I was the one who spent so much brain power trying to figure it out, trying to understand why I was confused, trying to talk to someone, trying to muster up what I wanted to say, all of that stuff, when really I could have just saved myself some heartache if I would have seen some red flags in the early stages of dating and been able to call them out for what they were, which is like, these are red flags. This person's not available. And like, I know how painful it is to be with someone who's not available. So bye. So it really is like, you are saving it might be painful in the moment to part ways with whoever it is that's unavailable to you, but you are saving yourself so much energy and pain in the long run, by being willing to make a mature choice in the moment.
Yeah, and that's why this is a podcast for people who put themselves in a position to be hurt and then wonder why they're in pain, or whatever it was we said. But and then that there was something I wanted to say on the tail end of what you were just saying, and I totally fucking forgot. Oh my God. What were you saying?
I was saying that if you can make a choice up front to walk away from something, it might be a little painful in the moment, but in the long run, it will save you some of that heartache because you won't have wasted your time. You won't have put all your energy into it, only to have kind of the same underwhelming result. And
that's what it was. So is that when I finally started like dating like a grown up, and what I had a deep understanding of is something I had heard, and I just decided to take to heart, and I decided to believe to be true because I had never experienced it or hadn't yet. When it's real, it's easy.
Yeah.
And that is like my mantra. And that is the truth. And that's the truth from my experience. When it's real, it's easy.
Yeah. And that's really consistent and in alignment with like when you're confused, he's not into you. If he likes you, you know. And I do think I'm glad that you gave us that little soundbite of when it's real, it's easy, because it's good advice. And also it is there is sometimes this cultural construction around it's complicated, it's chaos. If it's, like
everybody fights, it's always hard. It's
whole always hard.
Normalizing by saying everybody goes through this, or bringing out your friends who are in shitty relationships and saying that, well, they go through this too and they're married.
Right.
Like my favorite was like I always think that it's probably not the best idea to sleep with somebody on the first date. Well, so-and-so slept with somebody on the first date and they're married. It's like, well, okay. Are they happy? Are they connected? Are they,
there's like a lot of other things besides being married.
Right. So it's like the same thing. And I think that's another way we normalize. It's like when we're in pain, we look at other people in crappy relationships and say, well, they're in the same pain we are, so this must be normal.
This must be what it is.
It doesn't have to be normal. We get to decide what's normal for us. And that's not what I decided. I wanted to be normal for me.
Yeah. And the other thing that reminds me of is that there is also sometimes a cycle of chaos that you have to break, right? Because some people are like truly addicted to chaos and complicated relationships. And then it also... when you add on top of that, this like cultural normalization of it's complicated, it's hard, everyone goes through that stuff, then like it becomes very normal to be in like a super chaotic and super confusing state all the time. So Sandy and I are here to tell you that it's when it's right, it's easy. You do not have to sign up for chaos. You do not have to paint the red flags green. You can walk away from something that does not suit you or something that confuses you. You know what I mean? And you should.
You probably should.
Because I loved what you said yesterday. Your person is out there.
Yes.
Everyone's
definitely.
Your person is out there, and your person is not going to make you confused. Your person is going to make you feel like $1 million, would move heaven and earth to get to whatever it is that you've got going on, will love you unconditionally, will accept that you have a cat.
Yes. Even if they're allergic.
Will return your texts at any, as soon as they can, and will not like leave you feeling empty and sad. Aww.
Yeah, I remember having on my ideals list, like, makes me happy, not sad. And I always love when we go to Afternoon Live because we see Trey Renee and like we say things like this and she's like, really? Do people do that? Do people date people who make them sad? Yeah,
people do.
They do.
You don't have to though.
Yeah. And that doesn't have to be you. And and what you said about somebody in a cycle of chaos. It's like, I feel like we get our little sound bites on the Afternoon Live and we go into these deep topics here, but like, we always have to do that work on ourselves first. Mm-hmm. And anybody who is in that cycle of chaos, this is a red flag for yourself. Yeah. Like, look at yourself. Look in the mirror. Why are you constantly in chaotic relationships? Right. And you may be the common denominator. Right. So it might be time for you to maybe date yourself, maybe go get a Hollywood facial, take some time to get to know yourself, fix yourself. And, and I don't mean fix yourself like you suck, so fix it. But like you've
got some work to do.
There's some work to do to put yourself in a position to get out of that pain.
Yeah. And that's the last piece, I think, for me, is something that we've talked about. I mean, we have spent a lot of time together in the last 48 hours, and it has been so fun because we spent a lot of time apart. And in the last 48 hours, we've talked so much about like everybody has a choice. So whatever kind of pain you're in, you might be choosing to stay there, and you can always choose a different choice. And it might not be super comfortable at the beginning, but it might also move you out of the pain that you're experiencing more regularly with the choice that you're in. So I think that's kind of consistent with that's really aligned and consistent with what you're talking about. Like, maybe it's, if you're in chaos all the time, it's time to look at yourself and see if you need to make a different choice around how to do some growth work or self-care or whatever it is.
Yeah. Or like call Heidi or myself or write into us, because we'll be the first ones to tell you, like, you need to look in the mirror and do some work on yourself. And pausing dating sometimes sounds really scary, but it is the most wonderful, empowering thing.
It's true. And
to really spend time with yourself is the best kind of love that you can receive.
Yeah, and this segment
next to the love of a puppy. Puppy love is good too.
Oh, we forgot to talk about your puppy. We'll have to talk about him.
Yeah, we don't
episode.
need to get into that. That's dark.
I will say that this episode was not constructed as a pitch for my book, but I do want to say that Relationship Ready is coming out October 1.
What?
And so you can
1?
go to my website, Heidi at Heidi B. No, my website is www.heidibcoaching.com. If you go there, you can subscribe to my email list, and I'll be sending out an email blast right before the book drops to remind you to pick up a copy of it.
Do pick up a copy of it.
Do it, because it's funny. I mean, I would encourage you to read the whole book and do all the exercises in it. But even if you only get through the first 3 chapters, it's really entertaining.
learn about Heidi and learn about yourself.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, you'll get the inside scoop.
I mean, it is nice because we always we give all this advice, but we talk about before you even start this, get to know yourself.
Yes.
And what your book is like a course in getting to know yourself.
Exactly.
So it really demystifies it, because it could be like, well, just let it go. People say like, just let it go. Well, how do I just let it go?
Yeah.
Just get to know yourself. Well, how do I just get to, well, here's a book.
Here's a book. I wrote a book on how you can get to know yourself. It's called Relationship Ready.
So do the work, and then you're there. You can start.
Then you can start listening to all of our episodes over again and be like, okay, I've worked on myself now. Now what's next?
Yes.
It will kind of it all falls into place when you've got this kind of ground level of knowing yourself.
Yes.
And it's work that Sandy and I have both done.
Yes.
I mean, so it's
and
works.
There's not one right or wrong way to do it, but if you're completely mystified and get pissed off when we say get to know yourself and are shaking your iPod, even that's dated now. If you're shaking your phone and saying, but how do I get to know myself, bitches? Then this is how.
It's true.
Yeah.
Thank you for that little plug at the end. That was great. What a good episode. It was so fun to be back and so fun to be in the studio. Anything else that you feel like you want to add as we wrap up? I love it. We're sending lots of love, light, and gold.
If he wants to do weird, kinky sex shit before he's like even like told you like who his mom is, that's weird.
Oh, that's a big red flag.
That's weird. Like if you don't know his last name, but he wants to pee on you.
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
Our glowing faces are sending you radiant love, light, and gold from Portland. Don't forget to
stay vigilant and glowing.
Stay vigilant and glowing.
What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold.